to govern such relationship? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has given the mother the highest ever position than any other. And he said about this relationship, Allah has put the paradise under the feet of the mother. He's talking to who? To her children, sons and daughters. Like you have to be at the feet of your mother, serving her, protecting her, feeding her, taking care of her. Let's talk not just a mother. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, anyone will have 3 daughters and he fostered them, educated them, and disciplined them, inject in them high level of morals and ethics and values, he will go to paradise without question. And someone asked him, Ya Rasulullah, what about if someone have 2? He said he will be the same, treated the same. And someone said, Ya Rasulullah, what about if he have just 1 girl? He said he will be treated the same. So Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has made it clear that one of the major reasons will put you or send you to paradise is women. Where if she is a daughter or she is a mother. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if she is a wife, he said the following. This is what Muhammad alayhi salatu wasallam said. And this is what every Muslim believes in. And we abide by that. لا يكرم المرأة إلا كريم ولا يهينها إلا لئيم. No one will be good to women except those who are generous, and Allah Himself is generous. And those who will mistreat the women, Allah will mistreat them. And if she is a sister, the father is responsible about his daughter. Assume the father passed away. The father of the father, which is the grandfather, he has the same responsibility, goes to him. If he's not exist, will be the brother. If he is above certain age, like say 21 years or 18, 19 years old. If the brother cannot, so it became the uncle from the father's side. If the uncle from the father, like the brother of the father, if the uncle of the father's side is not available, the uncle of the mother's side will take care of that one. If none of them does exist, the closest relationship. If none of the family does exist, it became the responsibility of the entire community. In some of the villages, I used to work in Gulf area a long time ago. And I used to drive long distance, like 600 kilometers, 1,200 kilometers. And I used these villages while in the highway, some villages there, so where they have some, like a small coffee shop and a toilet and something like just rest and relax. And there's some few houses here and there. So if a woman which is a widow, she doesn't have a husband, and her children is young and no one is helping her, she bake and put these outside, because those days this village doesn't have, she is so poor, she doesn't have an oven. Normally there is a public oven nearby somewhere. She put that outside. Any man will come and pick it, get it to that the public oven, fix it, and coming back, put it in the front door, knock the door and leave. It became the community responsibility to take care of such woman. Any. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said another remarkable hadith. I am asking everyone in this room a simple question. If you are in a few minutes to die, like you are at the end, and everyone around yourself and the people around you knows that you are in few minutes, you're gonna die. And you have to leave a will, or you have to give an advice. Last thing you're gonna say. What Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam last thing he said? Be careful of women. Be careful of women. 3 times. Be careful of women. Be careful of women. Alayhi salatu wassalam. That was the last sentence. He said this one, and he said the last thing, be careful of your prayers. Then he closed his eye and never opened again. What is the layer of the heart control all of these relationships? Very big network of relationships with everything around you. But it has priorities. So, you have a relationship with Allah, your creator. You have a relationship with your prophet or the rest of the prophets and messengers. You have a relationship with your father, mother, and the rest of the family, including your wife and your children, brothers and sisters, aunties, niece, nephews. There is a relationship, and there is for every relationship there is a responsibility. Those who will stick fulfilling their responsibilities, those are the one being considered in Islam, they have full mind. Not out of mind, full mind. Full potential of mind. Because if they come to that level, the entire community will be in peace and tranquility. No issues. But this is the best case scenario, which is, unfortunately, this is not the case. We are human, we made mistakes. There is a system in Islam for fixing mistakes, not to accumulate them. As simple. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, Man afsada shay'an fa'alayhi islahu. Whoever is spoiled or break something, it became his or her responsibility to fix it. This is one of the laws. So, the outer layer of your heart, which called the mind, it is in control of making sure that all these complicated network of relationships being fulfilled to the dot. Bear in mind, everyone around has a relationship with Allah, the Lord. You cannot claim, Jake, that you have a correct and beautiful relationship with your Creator, but you are harming your neighbor. You are insulting this one. You oppressing that one. You stealing that one. This is not true. I will consider you a liar, because if you have, as per terms and conditions, T's and C's between you and Allah, if you fulfilling His terms and conditions for all relationship, then you have a correct relationship with your Creator. You cannot claim you have a good relationship between you and your Creator while you are harming His creation. Whatever it is, a dog, a tree, a family member, a neighbor, nothing. Who controls such equation is the mind. Because he's telling you, you cannot claim that you have a good relationship with your Creator and you are harming His creation. He will never accept that. Go and fix the harm you caused. Then He will accept you. This is ABC. Aql, or mind. This is the outer layer of the heart. You asked the question, how we can cleanse our heart. I will tell you how to cleanse your first layer of the heart, which is your mind, the mind. My daughter, if you don't know the rules governing the relationships or that network of relationship between you and everything around you, which we call it in 20th century, 21st century, knowledge. If you lack this knowledge, how come you're gonna perfect this or fulfill these relationships? You won't be able to fulfill it right because you lack of knowledge. So the first line of defense to cleanse the mistakes you have done in the first layer of the heart, which is called mind, is to have more knowledge and accurate knowledge. And as we discussed last week, seeking knowledge, it became compulsory in Islam. You have to seek knowledge because without knowledge, you get lost. And it is not guaranteed that you will do the right thing. So it became your responsibility, since you started to develop something called mind. It became the responsibility of your parents and the teachers in the school and the elders in the community to keep feeding you with knowledge, to discipline you, to teach you what is right, what is wrong. Everyone, regardless his cultural background, his religious background, everyone agrees that stealing is forbidden. Killing is forbidden. I'm just giving you two simple examples, but there's a lot of other stuff. If you lie to me to gain some money out of my pocket, or to take something, or to take an advantage, or to put me in disadvantage, this is forbidden. And you name this, a big list. So you need to know. Know means knowledge. You need to have knowledge to do the right stuff. So the first line of defense and the first tool to cleanse your mind is to have knowledge. At those days, 1400 years ago, in the middle of the desert in Arabia, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said, seek knowledge. Even if it is China, those days that China was the end of the world. He said in another saying, seek knowledge from the birth to death. And he said that the angels will serve those knowledge seekers as a sign of their acceptance and pleasure of what you are doing. And we have spoken about this in a bit lengthy way last week, so I don't need to repeat it. Go and review last week's lecture. The second line of defense, just to cleanse your mind. I didn't go for the other six layers of the heart. I'm still in layer number 1, the mind. You have to understand that you are not alone in this world. If you are alone, the job will be much easier. If you are living in the middle of desert, or you're living in one island and you have 2 or 3 people, job is easy. So your mistakes will be very minimal. The most difficult and most complicated problem is how many people you are dealing with around. The more people you have, the more complications you already get as a matter of relationships. So the more mistakes. Plus, I have desires and wishes different from yours. Probably your thoughts, your desires, your wishes are contradicting with mine. I'm just taking an example. If that contradiction happens, and it happens, and it is always there, if that contradiction happens, and it is happening every femtosecond, because we are different, we are not equal. Everyone's different. Probably we are equal in rights and duties, fine, but I'm talking on the individual basis. My background is different from your background. My culture is different from your culture. My mind has different capabilities than yours. Has nothing to do who's better. Nothing with which one is better. Nothing. We just different. So my desires, my thoughts, my beliefs is different from you, and you have to learn how to deal with such situation without harming you or you harming me, which we call it, and this is an art. What controls that? Something called ethics, morals. And from where we get control, we get at the standard of morals and ethics, it is from the Creator. I will abide by these rules, and you are asked to abide by these rules. If there is a lack of knowledge, it became the responsibility of the community to fix both of you. If the traffic light is red, I am in hurry, I have an emergency case, I will break the light and go. Is that enough excuse for you to break the red light and go behind me? If I'm doing wrong, don't follow my wrong. You should do the right stuff. This is a personal responsibility. If a policeman chasing a criminal and he's driving 180 and my car can get to 160, so I just drive him and make a race with him? No, there is rules govern the street. The maximum speed is 100 or 110 or 120. I should not exceed. He has a job to do. This is part of his speciality. I should not follow him. I have rule controls me, and he has another set of rules controls him. If he said, I will abide by 120, that criminal will continue to do crimes. He has to do that one. So sometimes we have to break one rule, one little rule, to fix a big problem. And this is part of the general rules in Islam. Don't think this is philosophy. This is ABC. Control of the freedom of humanity. My freedom ends with the borders of your freedom. So we have to come to a certain conclusion and agreement. The differences between me and you as example. These differences on the personal level should not prohibit us or stop us to deal with each other, to respect each other. Maybe it is so difficult for you to love me. Fine, I'm not asking you to love me. But as I respect you, you should respect me. What is this business of respect? The border of my freedom, it is tangibly touches your border of freedom. We have a single point of contact. That single point of contact, what's called respect. Do you know why I have chosen Australia to come here? Because of this very point. Because of this very point. Respecting each other. I will hope that we love each other, but this is something sometimes is so big for some people. They cannot. Because of these differences, they built a sort of conditions or certain conditions among themselves. So sometimes it creates an environment of hatred, racism. But by the way, this is the least country on earth have racism. I'm telling you this one, I have been here for 21 years. Least country on earth have racism. Least country on earth have issues. Originally, I'm Egyptian. I left Egypt and came here. I worked in Saudi Arabia. I worked in Bahrain. I worked in Abu Dhabi. I worked in Japan. I worked in South Korea. I worked in Dortmund, Germany. I have an office in Rome. I had an office in London. I have worked all of this one. I never see a country like this. Because of this very point, respecting each other. So I consider the highest collective mind country in the world is this country, Australia. I'm telling you, you are lucky you are here. Anyone disagree with this statement? Please, feel free. I can prove myself to you if you like. Feel free. And all of that networking of relationships controlled by the mind. Sometimes personal mind, sometimes a collective mind. Let's go to the second layer of the heart. The second layer of the heart, which we call it as in the Quran, fu'ad, which is the layer responsible about feelings, emotions, and belief. I will repeat again. The second layer of your heart called fu'ad. I don't know, because all of these names, if in other language than Arabic, just say heart. But it is very much detailed precisely in the Quran. Second layer of your heart called fu'ad. And that it is also detailed in the Quran. It is responsible about your emotions, your feelings, and number 3, which is the most important, all of them, beliefs. That layer, second layer. So majority of humanity somehow have a collective agreement on the level of the mind. But when it comes to level number 2, there's a big disputes, big differences, groups of people. Even among the Christianity, there are groups of the groups, sub and sub of the sub, for each church. In the Judaism, the same. In Islam, the same. But I am asking you, why? Why, when it comes to the second layer, which it has, it is in control of feelings, emotions, and belief, people is widely differ. I will assume the baseline of the heart called the mind. The upper layer of the mind, of the mind, which is in the border with the second layer, which is the fu'ad, responsible about belief system and stuff. The upper layer of the mind called the imagination layer, the power of imagination. I know you never hear something like this, but this is Islamic. The upper layer of the mind, which is called imagination, the power of imagination, it is different as per individuals. Each one, and by the way, I will make some sub-comment in this point, then I will continue. I said the second layer is responsible about 3 things: feelings, emotions, and belief. And belief system is in direct contact with the upper layer, which is the imagination of the upper layer of the mind. This point is very delicate. the emotion and feelings in the woman is much stronger in the man. The imagination in the mind of the man is a little bit more than the woman. When it comes to the belief system of the second layer of the heart, it is being driven by emotions from the woman, which, listen to this, which is more truthful than the man. More truthful than the man. Because that little bit of difference in imagination, the man, to come to the belief, it's like a mercury. No control. Did you see mercury? Inside the thermometer, if you put it there, you cannot catch. Why is that? Normally the woman, any woman, I'm not talking about Muslim woman or Christian woman, any woman is seeking security and warm-hearted relationship. The man, because of his imagination is a little bit more, he imagined himself sometimes to be a god. This is true. If you read the Quran, when Lucifer deceived Adam, did he deceive Adam or Adam and Eve? Both. But the Quran never mentioned Eve. If you read the Quran, all this story, Eve is innocent. This is completely against Judaism and Christianity and any other religion. Islam is the only one proof that women or our mother Eve is innocent from all this mistake. It is the responsibility of Adam. Why, Zina? If you read the verses of the Quran, that Iblis didn't go and talk to Eve, because he knows if he's going to talk to Eve, there is someone has the responsibility of taking care of the family, is the man. So he went to the supervisor of the family and he deceived him. He said, would you like to live in this paradise forever? Eternal life. Who can resist that? No one. He said, yes, I don't mind. Because when he imagined the scenario, he will live this eternally in this paradise and he will be like an angel full of light and that stuff. He agrees immediately. He said, then you go and eat from this tree. When he ate from the tree, he discovered the deception. That was a big deception. And Allah immediately, and even in the Quran, Allah didn't say that Eve has eaten from the tree. It was Adam. not Eve. And if she eats because he has eaten from the tree. He is the responsible one. Because of this imagination power, he imagined himself, I will be eternal, I will be treated as an angel, I will live here in this paradise, I don't need anything else, and I will be in the neighborhood, close vicinity to the Creator. Fine, that is everyone's looking for such scenario. When a woman falls in love, she is sincere. When the woman follows her heart, emotions, she is sincere. Or, to be precise, she is more sincere than the man. Accordingly, when it comes to the second level of the heart, which called the fu'ad, which is responsible about the emotions, feeling, and belief system. If the first layer is not fulfilled correctly, which is the mind, he will never succeed in the second layer to fulfill the second layer as is. And this is explaining the softer heart of the woman than the man. I'm talking generally speaking, there is some men have softer heart than women, but I'm talking about the general rule of thumb. That soft heart of the woman have saved her from a lot of troubles. Those who are dealing with drugs, big cartels in the world are women. You will find no women there. All of them men. Those who create wars are men. Those who kill are men. Those who commit most or 99 of the crimes are men, not women. Now you understand why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, treat women the best, take care of women, because they are the last line of defense for humanity. For any community in the world, started from USA to New Zealand, and started from Russia till the South Pole, everywhere, any community, the woman is safe and doing their job, not spoiled as the Western civilization has spoiled the woman everywhere in the world. If the woman kept its or her natural disposition as is intact, that community will be saved out of hell. And it became the work and the responsibility of the man to make sure that this is happening. Just anyone can tell me, please, when in the history of mankind that the women declare wars or kill each other or attack women in this country, attack the women of another country? Never. So it became very much the responsibility of man to keep the woman intact, not to be spoiled and destroyed as the Western civilization did already. The natural disposition, the fitra, the clarity, the purity, the tranquility, the cleanliness of the heart of the woman, this is the key for all civilizations. Why is that, ya akhi? They are the ones who raise the children. They are the ones who raise the generations. Generally speaking, the man is outside most of the day doing this and that, working here and there. Some of the men is working 2 jobs to get enough money to feed the family. Who's raising the children? Who's raising generations of humanity? Women. If these women does not have or do not have the right rules, have that right mind, first layer, and the second layer, this community within few decades will vanish, will go. Look outside. When I see a woman or a young girl having tattoos everywhere and drinking marijuana and completely and drinking alcohol and beer, what is that? If the whole men doing that, but the women intact, they keep their natural disposition, this community is still safe. By implementing and fulfillment of the first layer, which is the mind, and the second layer of the heart. And that has to be the job of all Scientologies, sociologies, all scholars of any country or all over the world to make it happening. But there is some people are making good money out of corruption. You'd like to destroy a country, corrupt the woman. You'd like to fix a country, fix the woman. This is the key. Not the man. If you get back the woman to their natural disposition, the way Allah naturally has created them, with clear mind, second layer of the heart, these two alone can raise big, good communities. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah himself, the creator, has mentioned that in the Quran in hundreds of positions. And he's always in the Quran asking the men to take their responsibility, to stand for the responsibility, to implement that comprehensive network of relationship rules. And not to spoil the women. Would you like me to go for the third layer of the heart, or you would like to ask other questions? I will stop here for the second layer. Otherwise, I keep control, taking all the night. I'll just give it a nutshell. Some idea, it's better than nothing. Yes?
We'll go to the third. The third?
You want the third one? No, this is in Arabic. But the translation for that is the spiritual mind. You got this point? Spiritual mind. It is not the mind as the layer number 1, because the mind of layer number 1 is concerned about everything existed out of that layer, the universe around you. starting from Allah Himself, the God Himself, the prophets and messengers, angels, other entities, then humanity, trees, everything, the whole existence. Even we have a relationship with the moon. We have a relationship with the sun. We have a relationship with the stars. We have a relationship with everything. We have a relationship with atoms. You build from atoms, and the environment around you build from atoms, and they have the same build. One thing for your info, just aside. You know the atom? Did you study some physics and chemistry? All of you studied some physics and chemistry? The atom has a nuclei. And it is surrounded by 7 orbits. It is surrounded by 7 orbits. Orbits where electrons can swim within this orbit, cannot go outside except if you give big amount of energy, which this is the atomic bomb now, with this have big explosions, can destroy the world. But if you keep it as is, it is keep revolving around the nuclei in bit of a circle, anti-clockwise. You see this clock here, it revolves that way. But the electrons around the atom, the nuclei of the atom, revolves anti-clockwise. Right? Our universe have 7 heavens. Correct? Represented, this is the small world and this is the bigger world. Copy paste, same. Everything in this world is revolving around its axis anti-clockwise. The earth are revolving around its axis anti-clockwise. And the earth is revolving around the sun anti-clockwise. And the earth and the sun is revolving in the solar system also anti-clockwise. The whole galaxy is revolving anti-clockwise. When you go and make Hajj, pilgrim in Mecca, you revolve around the Kaaba anti-clockwise to be considered as part of this universe. Everything is revolving anti-clockwise. If I'd like to explain that one, I need another lecture to explain why. But it's not time for that one. But I'll give you a hint. You know what is negative energy and what is positive energy and this and that. That creates positive energy. And positive energy means life. Negative energy means you coming to death. I'm not going to explain more because I have to finish third layer of the heart. So when we said the third layer of the heart called the Nuha, or the spiritual mind, now that kind of mind, it is not that mind which is connecting us with everything externally around us, the universe around us. That kind of mind is directing you and connecting you directly with your Creator. Not with anything else. Can I ask you, sir, a question? Who you are? And this question for everybody around here. Are you that body? Few years we will put you in the grave and you will decay. Can I ask you a question? When you say my car. Normally people say my car, my bed, my pillow, my sandwich. Okay, acceptable. But when you say my soul, listen carefully, my spirit, my mind, can you show me where is this mind? Don't say here, this is brain. Brain is a tool used by the mind. Then tell me, where is that mind? Or tell me, where is this spirit? What is the difference between you and someone just died? You can still move and think and generate thoughts and make work and do this and that and travel and come and eat and do things. And this one is completely dead. Same body was here 5 minutes ago walking, talking, thinking, producing. Now he is doing nothing, like a piece of flesh. It is a little bit hot, and after half an hour or 1 hour it started to cool down until it comes to the room temperature. And nothing. And if you leave it to the open air, in few days you're rotten and give bad smell. He is giving bad smell, but you don't. What is the difference? Because simply speaking, you are not that body. You are the soul, you are the mind, you are the heart, you are the spirit. I will come back again. You say, my heart, not this heart, the pumping blood. I'm talking about the ethereal heart. My soul, my mind, my spirit, my heart. What is this my? What does represent? When you say, I am hungry, which part of you is hungry? Is the body? This feeling of hunger. Okay, what is this dead corpse? Did he feel hunger? When I'm talking now, feelings. Where these feelings stored in your that body, if you think that you are that body? Where that has stored there? Or explain to me something called the spark of life. Spark of life. Just tell me, someone is alive and someone is dead. Someone has that spark of the life, someone has been taken off. The spark of life has been withdrawn. And withdrawn from him went where? The cause of life inside you, when you die, goes where? I'll ask you another question. I didn't say number 3 yet. I'm just giving you an intro to open your mind, to just make some brainstorming. Assume someone is tyrant, big thief, drug dealer, serial killer, rape women, and he's so strong and no one is able or capable to capture him and punish him. If you say, we will give him one gunshot, we will put the humanity at risk. Is this gunshot, one shot, 1, 2, 3 minutes pain equal to the pain he caused to all humanity? Is this just? Tell me what is just. Do you accept such justice? Or it should be someday the absolute justice will be applied. This is the day of judgment. This is why we have a day of judgment. That Allah, the Creator, who is the superpower, He controls everything, is giving us a time here. Yeah, you might behave yourself, you might misbehave, as most of the humanity are misbehaving. There is a time everyone will be counted. Allah has put some rules. Those who will abide by these rules, this is the accounting here. So you will pass at the day of judgment. You will go to paradise. But there is a lot of humanity did not apply and abide by the rules Allah has laid down. Then the absolute justice has to prevail. And this is the wish of everyone has been oppressed or injustice or has been taken his rights, or his wife or his daughter has been raped in the front of his eyes, or someone has killed his children. And he is helpless, has no power to take revenge or to take his rights back or to say cause similar pain or equal pain to what he has done the other guy or the country or the army, whatever. Somewhere, sometime, somehow, an absolute justice has to be or has to prevail. And this is the hope of everyone has been mistreated, misjudged, oppressed, and what have you. Everyone will wait for that day. And this is justice, but absolute justice. So when we're talking about third layer, about the spiritual mind, and has been identified, which this is the direct relationship between you and Allah. If you fulfill this relationship properly, then you will see this absolute justice. One of the outcomes, not all outcomes, one of the outcomes. You will see that absolute justice happening in the front of your eyes there. How many of you has done a great work, but he never been rewarded? How many of you has big dreams, hopes, and he has worked, he or she worked hard to have this one, but he has prevented or prohibited, he never fulfill his or her dream, or can't have their hope happening in the front of them. And I'm not talking about evil hopes, I'm talking about goodness, simple goodness. Can you give me a percentage? I can tell you easy, 90% of humanity never been completely fulfilled. It has to be one day to be rewarded, to see that you are going to be fulfilled and rewarded million times than what you can be rewarded in such few monies, dollars, or a house, or a car, or any position here. It's nothing. If you'd like to join this party of highly rewarded or absolute justice prevailed and touched you, you have to fulfill this connection of the third layer, spiritual mind. And it has rules. If you abide by these rules, the rules is different from the rules of the other mind, first layer. This is third layer, it has different rules. Unfortunately, the time is passing, and the lecture is coming to an end. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك من كل ذنب ونتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم، وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.